Excellent. Good evening, everybody. This is June 16th, 2015, and this is Linda speaking. We've got several lovely other people on the line, and it's our Tuesday team training session. Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Linda.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. So every time we do these, we usually choose a different topic, and I thought it was time to do the topic of handling objections, because if you've been in this business more than a day or two, I'm sure you've heard a few people say, if you've asked them to look at the business, and they say, "Oh, is it one of those things?" or "Oh, I can't sell," or whatever. And then the trick is to be able to just relax with that and say something helpful and intelligent that might keep them alive as a prospect. So that's our mission tonight. We'll look at some of that. And after a little bit of initial intro, we have a PowerPoint here that I downloaded from Richard Brooks' website. That's a very, very nice overview of dealing with objections. And then we'll just talk through some of this. Maybe do a little role playing. The first thing that I think is really important to remember is this first bit on my screen, that the average exposures with a new prospect, at least 4 to 6 conversations or meetings or CDs or whatever, all these different ways that a prospect can learn about your business, you're going to have on average 4 to 6 of those learning experiences before that they're ready to make a decision. So that means when you first talk to somebody, you need to know where you'd like to guide them next, and you need to be just relaxed about the fact that you could be carrying this conversation on for days, weeks, or even months before they make a decision. So, you just need a good follow-up system and being relaxed and knowing that everybody's dealing with life. And then this next little point, the goal of each exposure is to move them to the next exposure. And again, what an exposure could be, Wally's Tuesday evening introduction to the business that he just did. Or it could be, oh, let's do a 3-way call with my friend Connie, who's helped her brother get healthy. Or it could be, here, I'll send you this movie I'll email you the link to the movie and you can watch that and you'll learn more about networking, and then when can I call you back? All these different things a person can do to learn a little more. So we're looking at just educating people, helping them understand what's going on, and giving them the opportunity to actually do this business with some level of comfort. So any questions or comments about that before I launch into Richard's PowerPoint here?
There's some good facts there.
Okay, good. Well, we'll go further down that page. But for now, Richard Brooke, if you've never come across his material, you can see in the lower corner here, blissbusiness.com is his website, and he's just got fabulous amounts of free stuff. Beautiful, beautiful material. So here's the title of this little thing, Listening Through Objections. Listening through objections is the Tai Chi approach to dealing with people's questions and concerns. Maybe the sumo wrestling approach is to try to talk them out of it, and you just get really loud and fast. No, this is the Tai Chi approach, very gentle. It's void of argument and therefore avoids leaving the prospect feeling wrong or stupid. Your commitment is to hear and understand and actually feel what the prospect feels before the issue is addressed. Honor but don't believe the objection. I think this is really interesting. Actual spoken objections are rarely true, even for the prospect. They're the first line of defense conjured up to express a fear or a concern. I think that's important to remember. Embrace objections. Fall in love with objections. Remember, addressing objections successfully is exactly what you get paid for. No objections, no salespeople. If an objection creates anger, frustration, or fear in you, you become unattractive to talk with. Learn to love to hear them, become warmer and calmer and more confident as you hear those objections. Be more attractive. So first, define the objection. What exactly does the prospect mean by their objection? Not enough time. Well, how much time do you imagine it will take? Not enough money, not enough capital. Well, how much money do you imagine it will take? Won't work. Well, what experiences do you have that leads you to have that concern? It's a pyramid. Well, what's a pyramid mean to you? What do you mean by that? I can't sell. Oh, what do you mean by selling? Embellish the objection. Yes, embellish it. Help them state their objection even more clearly and more passionately. Seek to understand and let them know that you got it. Purge the objection. Under every spoken objection is a fear or a concern. Listen and feel for it. Address it in your embellishments. Keep embellishing until they shift or they laugh, they physically move, they lighten up, and they just get off it. Remember, the objection is rarely true even for them. I think that's so interesting. Everybody can make time by prioritizing. Most people can get money for something that they really want, and everybody sells things they believe in. All any prospect wants is to be heard. Listen to my concerns, my fears, feel my fears, understand them, respect them, honor them, and then address the objection powerfully so I can check out whatever it is you're so excited about. Ask permission to address the objection. So, if you could prove to yourself how you could succeed in our business and avoid whatever that concern is, would you just take a brief look and check it out? So you address it, and you do so with candor and power, facts and examples, with success stories, support materials, with promises you intend to keep, and with help from your upline, with whatever it takes to do it convincingly and with integrity, step by step. So them, I don't have time. You, smile, relax. How much time? Them, anytime. I'm swamped. Them, Connie, you want to be you? Say what I'm hearing? Oh no, that's me. I'll be you. What I'm hearing is that you're already overwhelmed and don't need any more projects. Now it's your turn.
Yes, I believe you got it.
Oh, good, good. I'm glad I understood it. So, Connie, if you could prove to yourself that this could fit into your schedule and help you earn enough that you could take that wonderful vacation, would you at least take a look?
Well, of course I would.
Ah, okay. Well, and then off we go. So if you need more information before, you can just keep asking. You'll probably only get one chance to make your case, so make it as thorough as possible. And them, well, where do I sign? So that is Richard's presentation. Did anything jump out of that for any of you?
I think that's what you have to work on, being calm when you get the things. I think if you've had quite a few in a row, sometimes you get a little frustrated. So you just have to keep yourself not to do the old thing. Oh, isn't that interesting? And then just gonna move on.
Yep. And I know there are times when, for some reason, I'm really poised and I can just easily roll with it, and other times I kind of forget what I already know. So if, with any luck, I'll put these notes up. I've been a little slow to get our notes up, but I will get our notes up on the website, so you can look down them and just practice this stuff. You just have to practice. So, and I put that sentence of Richard's right down here. If you could prove to yourself that you could succeed in our business and that this issue isn't the problem, would you take a brief look? That's just such a beautiful, elegant sentence. And that's one that, if you're going for a walk, you might want to practice saying that in a bunch of different ways, just so it's ready when you come up against somebody who's questioning you. So I think it would be helpful to do a little bit of role playing with some of these typical objections, and I would guess the biggest one is that one of those pyramid things? Would you agree about that? Is that one of the biggest ones you've heard so far?
I think the biggest one is I don't have the money or I can't sell.
Okay.
But I think pyramid is a very big one too, yeah.
Okay.
I have one.
Yeah.
When they ask, how is that working for you? How are you doing with it?
Right. Okay.
And I have all kinds of ways to sidestep that. So if I want them to follow me and I haven't much success to show from my efforts, that would cause them some concern.
Okay. Then let's
say what I say.
Sure.
Oh, I would just say, well, I'm really new in the business. My check is increasing each week, but we work as a team, and some of my team members, are in the Millionaires Club. So, it's proven that it works if you put the time into it.
I love it. I love the fact that my objection is not of any real significance to you, that you handle it so quickly.
Oh, thank you.
Good. So I don't have the money. Who wants to? Dan, you want to be the I don't have the money person?
Okay.
Go for it. Tell me. So Dan, we've got this great product. I know it'll help you out. Would you like to give it a try?
I'm not sure. I don't really have that money right now.
Really?
Things are kind of tight.
Okay. So I hope you don't think I'm being kind of rude, but do you mind if I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay. So when you say you don't have the money, are you saying that you need to save up for it, or are what you're really trying to tell me is, I don't think I want to do this? Because if you don't want to do it, that's fine. If you don't want to try it, that's fine with me. But I would like to know if you'd like me to follow up with you and see when you might have the money.
Well, that's a possibility. I can think about it.
Okay. So you'd like me to follow up with you?
Sure.
Okay. And one other thing I'm going to mention is I'm just wondering if there's more that would be helpful for you to learn about this. So at this point, are you saying you don't have the money to do the business, or you don't have the money just to take the product?
Probably both.
Okay.
Like how much does it cost?
Right. Well, let's say it costs $200.
Is that like a month or?
Yes. Let's on average 100, 200, somewhere in there. So one thing I would ask you is, if you really, really, really knew that this could take care of that health problem for you, without a shadow of a doubt, would it be worth $200 to actually take care of that problem?
Yeah, I would think it probably would. There's no side effects or anything to it, or?
No side effects.
Yeah, I suppose I'd be willing to take a look at it.
Okay. 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 So let's look at it carefully and help you understand it. And if you like, I'll detail it for you. You know, they do have a money back program that
Oh, really?
if you do an initial purchase and it just doesn't do what you want or need, we can apply for a rebate and you just get your money back. Somewhere between 90% and 100%, depending how we do the paperwork.
Better than the doctor's office.
Probably. So knowing all that, where does that leave you? Are you ready to learn more about it, or is that enough to say, okay, if those are the rules, I'm game. I'll try it.
I'll think about it, but yeah, I'd like to learn a little bit more about it first before I actually make a decision.
Okay, that's perfect. So then we'll talk about what you need to know and how we can get you that information.
Okay.
All righty. Thank you. How about I don't have the money to do the business? Connie, you want to be that person?
I'm just, I'm kind of in between jobs, and I just don't have any extra money. That's my problem. I'm looking for money, so I don't have money to put into it right now.
Okay. And how do you? That's got to be kind of an uncomfortable place for you to be in.
It's very uncomfortable.
All right. Has that happened to you before in the past?
Not this bad.
Okay. So I'm just curious. What do you see on the horizon? Do you see that changing?
Well, I'm hoping it does. I've got a few resumes out there and a couple of possibilities.
Now I'm just curious. If we looked at this thing carefully and put together a game plan that if we start your business right at the first of the month, so you have a whole month to do it. If we started your business and you could really see how by the end of the month you could be waiting for a check, expecting a check that would pay off your initial startup to start your business. Would that be worth having a good look at?
Well, I'm probably up for anything at this point, so I'd have to find out more about it for sure.
Okay, so let's just make some time where we can sit down and really sketch it out on paper. How we could make that.
Do I have to sell anything?
Do you have to sell anything? Why do you ask?
Well, because I'm not very good at that. I'm looking like more of just a secretarial job or something like that.
Okay. Well, I'm just curious. Did you ever go to a movie that you really liked and tell friends about it?
Yeah, quite often.
Yeah? Okay. Or maybe a restaurant that you had a really good meal at a favorite restaurant and you recommended it to somebody?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And that was comfortable for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Then, and another side would be, have you ever been in a position of teaching somebody to do something?
I have 2 boys, so yeah, and a husband.
I guess we better not push on that one too much. So, and did you enjoy teaching them to do new things?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, and the reason I'm asking is, well, yes, you'd be acquiring some customers, you'd be acquiring some business partners. We need to sit down and really look in detail about how that would happen. But basically, it's about the same as recommending something you really like to somebody.
Okay.
or teaching them something.
Yeah.
So, of course, that means we need to sit and look at this and see, is this something you could feel so comfortable with that it would feel so much in integrity for you that you would like to recommend it to people? You wouldn't just be doing it to make a buck. You're looking at it, you look at it carefully, and you see, okay, this is how I could benefit these people. At that point, when you really see how you could benefit people, from what you just said, it sounds like you might feel comfortable with recommending.
Yeah, I like to help people.
Okay. So what do you think? Do you want to just make a time where we can really sit down and look at how it works so you know whether it is something you'd feel comfortable recommending or not?
Do you come here or do I go there? Or?
Yeah, we'll figure that out, absolutely.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Okay,
sometime
good.
Next
so
week maybe?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's go to the Belgian brew pub and get a big table and a big pitcher.
Sounds good.
Okay. So that's a couple of them. What about the pyramid thing? Is this one of those things, they say? Is this one of those deals?
What do you mean by a pyramid scheme?
A pyramid scheme? Oh, like Amway.
No, it's not like that.
Okay.
We're supposed to be doing this the other way around, aren't we?
We could.
Go ahead.
Do it again. You ask me.
Well, is it one of those pyramid schemes?
Oh, well, Connie, this is a network marketing business. Do you have any experience with that?
None at all, no.
Oh, well, what made you ask if it was one of those deals?
I don't know. There's been a lot of people, that have been, talking about these kinds of things, and I just don't want to get involved because you hear different things about them, and so I just don't think I want to get involved at this time.
Okay. Well, let me just ask you one question before we just let the topic go.
Sure.
If you took a few minutes to look at it and you could see how it really can help you buy that new wardrobe you want, and it really could let you buy your powerboat, and that it would be comfortable enough, would it be worth just taking, say 15 minutes to have a look and see how it actually works?
Well, I probably should learn what it is exactly before I say no, I guess, if it is going to get me those things.
Okay.
Because I've been on that boat for a long time.
Well, we'd love to see you in it, and I want you to take me for a ride.
Well, if you get it for me, I'll take you for a ride.
Okay, then. So we'll schedule a get-together.
So I think it's important in that scenario, too, that you got me laughing, or we got laughing about it so that I can relax more about it, yeah.
Yeah. Or,
question.
Go ahead.
How about those people who've been in network marketing before, fully committed to it, and then gave up on it, and have a very bad taste in their mouth because of the pain that they suffered for having fallen short?
Okay.
Have you ever met people like that?
So Lawrence, can I ask you a quick question?
Oh, please.
Listen, I don't know if this would be of any interest to you or not, but in addition to my music and that kind of thing, I have a business that I do on the side just to create my own pension fund. So, I can build up some additional cash flow. And is that something that might be of any benefit for you? Have you ever been looking to make some extra money or have a plan B income?
I'd love that.
Really? So would you like to just sit down and have a look at what I'm doing so you know whether it's something that would be a fit for you or not?
I've looked at a lot of different things. I'd love to see what you're doing.
Okay.
But if it's network marketing, I've tried it before.
Tell me about that.
Well, I found a product in the company I was really excited about.
Yeah.
But I could not make it work, and so I just don't know how to do it at all.
Okay. And were you working with other people? Were there people coaching you? And
I had a strong support system, but right now I don't. So it's like starting over with a deflated balloon. Trying to pump it up with air.
So I'm just wondering, in that business that didn't work out for you, did you have people that were teaching you skills that you could actually implement to make it happen?
You know, I did, and they all dropped out. So there are a lot of divorces and a lot of people just vacating their businesses.
Okay. So do you think if you did have a couple people who didn't drop out, who were steady in the business, they were experienced, and they were happy to stick with you and coach you, do you think that might make a difference for you?
You know, that's the only way that I could see doing this again.
Okay. So I'm going to guess, and yes, I mean, in case I didn't really answer that question point blank, yes, it absolutely is a network marketing company. And I can wholeheartedly agree with you. It's not a business you can do in a vacuum, especially when you're starting out, if you don't have experience with it yet. So if we could sit down for a little bit and I can show you some of my experience with it and help you understand why I'm fully intending to stick with it and help you, and I could introduce you to a couple other people who've been with it for years and have no intention of walking away from it, would that be reassuring to you?
That would be just wonderfully reassuring.
Okay.
Give me a lot of hope.
Okay. So I think what I'm going to suggest is, why don't we just sit down for a bit, give you a quick overview of what we're doing. I mean, there's no point in undertaking a business like that if you don't have any affinity for the products and that kind of thing. So let's make sure it's of any interest to you. And if it is, then it's going to be really important really soon. I want to introduce you to some of these people who are available to help you and show you what some of our resources are. Does that make sense?
It sure does. I sure appreciate your calm and confident approach.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And my experience is, if you can recognize a calm and confident approach, then you can have one yourself.
Oh, I love it. I'm feeling good even listening to you.
I'm delighted. Good. So we'll make that date, and we'll just take another step. You know, you just have to look at it, make sure it's not getting married, but it's almost like that. If you're really going to dive in and commit yourself to something, you want to understand it well and understand that it's a good fit. So let's explore that and see if.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, Dan had these people. So T&D, they don't have the money now because they're doing all these other things.
Yeah, you get that a lot. Well, we're putting in this, we're putting in that, and we have to get this because of this.
A lot of big health issues they're dealing with, too. So.
Okay. So let's pretend it's you, Dan, with the health issues and the money issues and stuff.
Okay.
And so Dan, we've sat down and you've seen a couple videos and things about how the product works, and we've done a little chat about some of your questions and that kind of thing. So I'm just curious, does this look like something that really is of interest to you? Can you see that it might be helpful for these issues you're trying to take care of?
It'd certainly be helpful for sure. That, like I said before, it's a money issue, and I've got things on the plate here that have to be taken care of before winter.
Okay. So just to be clear, I mean, would you like me to check back with you in, a month or two and just see how things are going and see if it's time yet to put some money into it, into this kind of health support?
You can. I have my doubts as to how we'll be sitting by then, but yeah, sure, you can always check back.
Okay. Okay. And let me ask you one other question before I go. If you use this product and it actually made a huge difference in your health, would that mean that there are things you could do that you can't do now?
Oh, for sure, definitely.
And okay, so what kind of changes would that make for you?
Well, it definitely would help me get out of the house for one thing. Because can't very well go out. Like once winter sets in, I don't have a walker and don't have a ramp, so I mean, pretty much stuck at home all day. And the wife has to go out and do all the business, and if she gets sick, I definitely got a problem.
Okay. So if we could get you walking up and down stairs, would that actually improve your household economy?
Oh, that'd be great. That'd really be great. I'm getting tired of sitting in this darn chair.
Okay. So, I'm gonna suggest that maybe we look at this thing a little more carefully and see, and maybe check with a couple other people what experiences have been in your kind of situation. Because if we can really help you just really get your life moving, it might be worth somehow hunting in some cookie jar someplace to see if we can't just get that money to get you going again, so you don't have to worry about whether there's a walker or a ramp all the time.
And that'd be great. I'm not sure how much it would have to get me back up and running. Though I've seen the catalog, and things are kind of expensive.
Well, and what you have to remember when you look at the catalog is that that's the highest price you're ever going to pay. And there are packages that the company puts together that are virtually half that price.
Wow.
So I think what we should do is sit down and just figure out if you really feel comfortable and confident about the product, then why don't we sit and have a realistic kind of conversation about how much you'd have to use, how long it might take to see some of those results you want to see, and then you'll know better if you want to scrimp a little more to be able to get yourself up and walking again. Okay.
Yeah, it can't hurt. I'm not going anywhere.
Good. So we'll make a way to explore all that with you.
Great.
And now this other person, L, who they're interested, but they're taking something else, and they want to wait till they use that up.
Right.
So where did you leave it with her?
Basically, she just said, the natural products that she's on, she'd like to use them up first. I said, well, that's great. She took some brochures and information. She was there at the Maple Syrup Fest.
Okay.
And I just hoping about what I could do is just kind of catch up her in passing. I wanted to kind of have a little card or maybe a couple of little video testimonial links or something other on her fibromyalgia. And I can just say, here, you get a moment, check this out, get back to me, or I'll call you a couple days, or see where it goes from there.
Sure. Excuse me.
Maybe talk her into a webinar.
Absolutely. Get her fired up about it. There's a woman that I've been talking to. I've had 2, maybe 3 phone conversations with her now. And I talked with her about 2 weeks ago. The previous conversation, she said she was going to go to her naturopath, and she was just starting on a new program, and she didn't want to do both at the same time. So I said, well, so that sounds to me like maybe I should call you in about 6 weeks. Does that sound right? And she said, yeah, that would be good. And I did. And she said, okay, well, I've got the program and I'm working on it, and I'm still interested, but I don't want to take two things at once. And so I said, well, when shall I call you back? Well, about a month. Okay. When I called her back in about a month, in fact, I think I said it would be 4 weeks, and she said, oh, I'm glad you called. I was thinking that you had said you were going to call in about 4 weeks, and I was hoping I was going to hear from you. So that really helped me understand if I talk with somebody and agree on an intention to talk, probably not everybody would be that attentive to, the timing. But she was really a person who, when I didn't make a date on a specific day, but I said, well, I'll call you in 4 weeks. And I did, and she said, that's great. I was hoping you would call me back. You said you'd call in 4 weeks. So I think there's something to be said for when it's a long-term conversation like that, to just suggest to them when you're likely to call, and then you just have to put it in your calendar and actually do it, because sometimes they're actually expecting you to call.
Sometimes, yeah. But sometimes they just forget all about it.
Sometimes they forget. But if you do call and you say, well, listen, Dan, I made a note the last time we talked that we should talk in about 4 weeks. So I just wanted to make sure to give you a quick call. And is this a time we could talk for a couple of minutes? And
sure.
Even if you say, oh, holy smokes, I forgot all about it, but thank you for remembering, that then they start taking you more seriously as a helpful business person, when you set those appointments and actually keep them. Then it's got a level of, they can see that it's got reality for you, and that can be important. Yeah. I would say we should close this up. Are there any other last little conversations we should model or play with?
There was one other thing that one topic Lauren had mentioned that somebody said, well, how is this working for you? I had a similar line with some guys at work, and it basically said, well, we'll wait and see how you're doing. Everything. So I don't know exactly the best way of leaving that, but I just said, oh, that's no problem, guys. I'll see you when I'm driving my new vehicle or something.
Good. Connie, do you want to handle that one as well, or do you want me to take that one?
You go ahead.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay. So Dan, you said you might be interested, but you want to see how I do first. Is that what you did? Did I hear you right?
Yeah, sort of. I don't think they really actually. Well, they didn't really say that they were interested, but we'd like to see how things work out and how you do before they even consider it.
Okay. So Dan, I'm just curious, if you took like 15 minutes to actually look at what this thing is, and it looked interesting, and you could see that people who've been with it for 6 months, a year, 2 years, can do really, really well and really change their finances. Would that have meaning for you? I mean, I'm brand new. So do you want to sit around here and not make the money for the next 2 years while you watch me, or do you want to take a good look at it, look at the people who are making money, and see if it looks like something that would be a fit for you?
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, and believe me, we work side by side. I don't want to arm twist you into anything that doesn't work out, that isn't a good match for you.
Right.
But if there's the chance it could be, I would hate for you to just not be able to do it just because I'm new. And I'm sorry?
I appreciate that.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So if you like, I could just give you a website you can look at or something,
Sure.
Talk about something like that. Okay.
Yeah. Great.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I just had the one comment about when they're asking about, how much it costs, and I'll often say, well, coffee and a donut in the morning, like you go to Tim Hortons and buy a coffee or whatever. you know, you're better to start your morning off with an Immunical, same price. Because often I find if you tell them the final price of the product, even the good pricing, they think it's too much. But when you put it in terms of, you know, it's only this much a day, it doesn't seem as much.
You could do that.
Yeah, you have to.
Make it
You ever
easier
do
to
that?
swallow.
You could do that. When I'm just so let me ask you to look at the so Connie, you said you weren't feeling so good these days, and you know, we might be able to help you feel better. Would you want to have a look at something that's helped a lot of other people in your situation?
Well, sure. If it can help me.
Okay. Okay. So tell me, you need to know how much it costs.
But I need to know how much it would cost.
Okay. Now, I hope you don't think I'm being rude, but it totally depends on how much you're going to use and exactly which product you're going to use. And really what's important right now is I'm going to invite you to just look at a couple flyers and maybe a webinar. You know, it's going to take you 15, 20 minutes, something like that. And just see if this is something that looks like it's of value to you. And then if you can see that it really would do what you want it to do, then we'll talk about how the pricing is going to work. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay. And I have done versions of that with quite a few people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I've said that too. It depends on the circumstances and stuff.
Yeah.
But when it gets right down to it, you know, if it's a person that just needs, you know, 1 pack a day, I'll say, well, you probably don't realize it, but you'd spend that on coffee, whatever, in the morning, so you'd be much better to make one at home and have your Immunical and stay young for the rest of your life. Yeah. Because people don't realize that you know, I think I was telling you or Dan that my brother just said, do you realize I paid $300, you know, getting coffee at this one store in a month? And I said, yeah, I do.
Wow.
You know, and I said, that's why when you say you can't afford it, I think, well, you really can if you look at it that way. You just don't realize you're spending it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Good. And then the other thing that's on the notes is just kind of summing up in many ways what we just did, handling objections or questions, listening carefully through. And this is from Tim Sales, and he's saying, you know, if they come up with something that they're concerned about, that is just so precious for you because you have a chance of helping them through that concern. And it helps you understand what to tell them about. Instead, I know sometimes we have a tendency to just want to tell them this and tell them that and tell them, well, you don't have to tell them anything. You just wait and let them tell you what they need to know. And it directs the conversation. And then you just confirm, oh, so what I understood you to say is you just don't think you have the time to do anything like this. And boy, I understand how you could really be concerned about that. But if you could see that it actually isn't going to take more time than you have, would it be worth it to look at this webinar? And if that could really get your kid into private school. And then you go to the next step. So unless anybody has any other bits they want to add to this conversation, does anybody before we close the...
I think that's good.
Sounds good.
All righty. Well, let's just...
Your level of belief.
Thank you. So I'm just going to close this for now. Hold on.